Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about putting some clothes on your character. We're going to be talking about doing it in a way that, one, is simple and straightforward for you. Two, creates a cohesive idea in the reader's mind of what the character looks like and who they are inside. And three, helps bond the audience and the character. I'm Jane, and this is Fiction Technician. So for me, getting my characters dressed is all about that connection between reader and character. I want the reader to feel like they know the character. They're running around having fun with the character. And if they can't see the character in their mind's eye, then that gets in the way. So I've given a lot of thought to how to wardrobe my characters. And the way I've done this is by watching a lot of TV. If you want to study how to dress your characters, I don't think you can do better than studying television, because every single character on TV is very deliberately dressed by a fashion professional with the specific job of conveying the character's inner self to the audience. I don't know of any show that did this more than The Big Bang Theory. On Big Bang, Sheldon is almost always wearing layered tees with a strong graphic element. Bernadette wears floral dresses with a solid cardigan, and as for Raj, well, I used to always wonder how he made it through the day under those hot studio lights, because he is layered up with a collared shirt, sweater vest, and windbreaker in nearly every episode. These wardrobes made outfitting the characters very simple, but they also convey the character's self. Sheldon's childishness, Bernadette's feminine confidence, and Raj's shyness are there for everyone to see. The benefits of using a uniform like this as a prose writer are many. First of all, it's easy. Once you've put in the work into crafting that initial uniform, well then, in any scene where you feel a need to describe what your character's wearing, you don't have to give much thought to it. They're wearing the uniform, and you can tack on a few variations here and there, but basically the main work is done. Also, in any scene where you don't want to describe what the character's wearing because you just don't want to spend time on that, well, the reader still has a basic idea of their physical presence, what their basic look is. When you're ready to create your character's uniform, I have 4 steps. First, think about what is appropriate to your character's job or role. The protagonist of my book, Not His Girl Friday, is Kitty Carmichael. She is a secretary for a private detective in 1920 Chicago, and so her basic uniform, the basic set of clothes that are appropriate to her role, are 1920s office wear. The second step is to see where I can push that set of clothes to better convey aspects of my character's personality. The aspect of Kitty's personality that I most often highlight with her clothes is the fact that she loves clothes, but that is in conflict with her low financial status. So she is always looking for as many beads, as much lace as she can get on an outfit, the nicest colors, and she loves new hats. But there's always that tension there. She's never able to afford quite what she would have wanted. The third step is to look for places where the character can deviate from the clothes that are considered strictly appropriate to their role. In the first book, I had Kitty wear cloches, which were very popular 1920s hats for women. In the second book, she's transitioning to a fedora. That's a man's hat, and it signifies Kitty taking on a bigger role in the detective investigations, which for her society is a very manly thing to be doing. Deviations are great because they make the character look unique, and they show us what the character cares about so much that they are willing to push the line on what society considers strictly appropriate. The fourth and final step is to think about those aspects of the character's personality that they actually don't want to present to the world, and ask, how can these aspects of their personality slip through into their clothes anyway? Kitty's boss is a detective named Tom Gallo, and he wears suits to work. Very businesslike, very appropriate, but he frequently has a spot of mustard on his tie or a crumpled collar, because what Gallo cares about is the intellectual work of detection. And, he can't be bothered. He can't be bothered to look at his tie. Okay, but what if a lot of your characters need to dress pretty much the same? Let's say you're writing a middle grade fantasy about a group of princesses, like this one, or that one. A lot of your characters are going to be wearing fancy dresses all the time, right? So what good is the uniform trick for you? This is actually a great time to think about your character's unique uniform. When the characters all dress the same, variations are very big in creating that unique look for your character and that bond between reader and character. A show that really made this work was MASH. On MASH, all of the characters are U.S. Army officers, and so they wear a literal uniform. But the variations they put on it help us understand their inner selves. Majors Burns and Houlihan love the Army and straight-laced discipline, and so they often wear button-down shirts. Very nice, very clean, very military. In contrast, Hawkeye hates the military, and so where the majors are neat, he is slovenly. He generally walks around with this open shirt over a t-shirt, very casual, and he has a great deviation on the clothes that are strictly expected of him, which is that he often goes around all day with a bathrobe draped over his uniform. The open shirt look says, I don't care. But the bathrobe says, oh no, you need to understand. I really don't care. Every episode ends with an exercise, but first I want to take a moment to thank you and ask you to please hit like if you feel that this video gave you value. Subscribe and ring the bell if you never want to miss a thing. Well, the exercise of the week is just to create a character uniform. Think about the clothes that are appropriate to your character's role in society and then see where they can use those clothes to show a little bit more of themselves, sometimes a little bit more than they intended. Think about how you can make them look unique and how you can let them push the line on what society considers appropriate. That's all. Tech out.